Hello and welcome to NME's Albums Club, a weekly show in which we from NME review 3 albums on video. 2 came out today,
Literally today.
And 1 is a classic album, but you'll have to wait and find out that one is.
Can I tell the good people how long it came out ago, though? 50 years ago.
50 years, ridiculous.
So it's basically ancient, but still very good.
Almost as old as the world itself.
Have you told these people who you are?
I'm Tom Howard, and this is Leonie Cooper.
That is true.
And together, we are all powerful. Leonie, what's the first album we're going to review?
The first album is the new Circa Waves album.
Here it is. It's called Different Creatures, and it's got a couple of whopping eyeballs on the cover.
They're massive, aren't they?
And if you look closely, you'll see that they're actually on like a plant stem. So these eyeballs are basically flowers, which is nice because it's spring now, and there are flowers coming out in the world.
It was spring yesterday, and it's no longer spring. I was wondering if we could do a thing where maybe we pretend they're your eyes.
Okay.
Does that work? That doesn't work. Let's maybe just talk about the album instead. So this is Circa Waves' second album, and they were this kind of indie band in the classic British mould, a bit Cribsy, a bit Arctic Monkeys-y, singing songs about just going out and have a lovely time and girls and such. And then...
And wearing T-shirts. Their most famous song, perhaps, is called T-shirt Weather.
Which it was yesterday.
Which again is good timing, because it's spring.
Not anymore. But it was yesterday and it's not
spring.
anymore. It's not anymore. You had your spring, Tom. Did you have a nice spring?
They've done this really well, haven't they?
A lovely spring. Yeah.
Circa Waves.
So no, second Circa Waves album, and then they've suddenly got all serious, and they've got heavier as well. So they're a bit more kind of royal bloody now, a bit more catfishy, a little bit kind of Foo Fighters-y, and they're singing about drinking too much, which is a bad thing. They're singing about anxiety and male depression and politics and the evils of social media. And they've also said some pretty big things about this album as well. Kieran, the lead singer, said earlier this year, or actually at the end of last year, this is the biggest guitar record of 2017, which is bold. It is a bold claim.
Very bold.
What do you think, Tom?
Well,
is it the biggest?
It's hard to say, isn't it, so far? Probably, I mean, it depends what they mean by biggest, I suppose.
Well, it's just normal 12-inch size.
Yeah, but if they mean like the biggest sounding, I mean, probably not, because like there's a Mastodon album out soon. Biggest selling, probably not, because Ed Sheeran.
He's done that.
So it's probably bullshit. But that doesn't mean it's not good.
And it's nice that someone says that about a record as well.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
good to have confidence in what you're putting out. Most people are like, oh yeah, my record's out. It's, yeah, if you like it, some people might like it, some people might not. I've just done it for myself. No. It's nicer like this is an iconic record, which is something that he has also said. He's also said it's a record that will show people that they can be festival headliners. This is big talk, Kieran, and I appreciate your big talk. There it is.
Yeah, me too. So the most notable thing about it is it's a lot more heavier.
Yeah.
They've changed the sound. And I think new fans, maybe? They'll get new fans?
Well, yeah, the last one was a lot more lightweight, and this is heavier. We've got some fans in the office as well. And yeah, I think good on them for kind of amping it up a bit and bringing in the eyeballs. And in fact, it's not all heavy, though. There's a track at the end called Old Friends, which sounds a bit like Mac DeMarco.
Really?
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul, the cameraman, who you can't see, is a big fan.
But he's there. He's right there.
And he will now shout out 3 words that the reasons are that he likes Circa Waves. He's literally speechless.
He just literally had a sip of his tea and went, no, that's not my job.
But what he meant
Carry
was
on,
rock vibes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
What would you give this album out of 5, Leonie?
I give it a 3.
Yeah, me too. Decent.
The next album is the new Laura Marling album.
They scream, am I really so unkind?
So it is the 6th Laura Marling album in 9 years. It's called Semper Femina.
Can you believe it? 6 and 9 years.
She's still only, she's just turned 27.
Fantastic.
And also she feels like she's been around forever. I remember interviewing her when she was about 15, when she was kind of doing Noah and the Whale stuff, hanging out with Mumford & Sons, doing all that kind of new folk stuff. But she has managed to sort of transcend that and become one of kind of Britain's greatest female songwriters in a way.
Yeah.
And this album is just lovely. So the title means woman always, which is apparently a phrase she has tattooed on her leg.
Okay.
It's been there since she was 21. So this album was sort of fated. It was recorded in LA in late 2015, which is where she used to live. And also, Tom, I don't know if you know this, but where I used to live as well. And she produced the album with local musician Blake Mills, who used to be in a band called Doors, not The Doors, Dawees, those Doors. But he's produced people like Jim James from My Morning Jacket and who else? Alabama Shakes, Con Roburst, lots of good people. So he's in on production. And this album was written out on the road, and it's about her take on womanhood. So there are no male pronouns on the album. It's all kind of singing to her, she. So it's not really for you, Tom.
Yeah, I know.
So maybe Tom should just leave for this section.
Yeah.
I should tell you about this lovely ladies album for ladies.
Yeah, exactly. I love it though. I love Laura Marling.
Well, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I love Laura Marling. I love her. I love all her albums, and I think she keeps getting better. And she may well be one of the UK's greatest songwriters, but she's got so much more in her. Her vast potential is frightening.
She's going to go on forever. She's like the Joni Mitchell kind of person. We'll be making albums for a very long time.
Yeah.
She's very prolific as well. Like 6 albums in 9 years is pretty good going.
Great, yeah. And she's got a lot to say. She's got a never-ending way of saying the things she wants to say. She's very amazing lyricist, really great guitar player, and she's fascinating. She's a really interesting person, and yeah, I think each album she's done is better than the last. I think.
Shall I tell you what I like?
Yeah.
Though? There's the missing Laura Marling album. There was her very first album that never actually came out.
Really?
Yeah, it's the secret Laura Marling album. You can probably find it somewhere on the internet. So actually, there's been 7.
What's it called?
I don't know if it had a name. It was sort of a demo of 12 songs, and then I think she was like 16. She's like, no, I can do better than that. Scrapped it. But there's songs on it about how much she loves Ryan Adams.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is interesting because there's a song on this album, the last song called Nothing, Not Nearly, which sounds very much like a Ryan Adams song. So I think maybe she probably doesn't talk about how much she loves Ryan Adams anymore, but she definitely does.
So does she lives in LA, did you say?
She did live in LA. I think she lives back in East London now.
Yeah.
She lived there for 2 years. Apparently this is sort of about that time in her life as well.
Yeah.
And it's all about her relationships with women and because as friends and as kind of maybe something more. You don't really know. It's all about asking questions and there aren't really any answers here. But that's, again, what Laura Marling does. She's just like, here it is. This is what it is. I'm not going to answer it or anything, but it's just you read into it what you want, guys.
On her last album, was that the Eagle album? Once I Was an Eagle?
No, that was a few ago. Short Movies was the last one.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't she do a thing where she toured America, but she had no. It was just her. And she just drove herself around to every single venue. There was no press person with her. There was no band with her. There was nothing with her. She just went out there and she just did it all on her own. Didn't promote it. Just did it, and it very kind of. I don't know, kind of rooty and earthy and back to basics.
That's sort of her vibe. Though. She gets shit done, and she doesn't like make a big deal of it. So before
she does it herself.
Before this album came out,
No
she
nonsense.
had this, no shit Marling.
Yeah.
So before this album came out, she had this podcast called Reversal of the Muse, which was all about talking to female artists and about the kind of production process. And if do you need men? Why should we even bother with people like this thing here?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Which spoke to Dolly Parton for that. Haim, loads of really interesting people. And that was, again, nothing that was like kind of massively promoted. She was just like, I just want to do this now. Do this. And on her lovely cut glass English accent.
Absolutely.
Her dad's a sir,
Yeah, I know. Fascinating artist.
So there's loads,
Talent, so much talent.
And kind of
frightening amount of talent.
Are you scared of her?
But in like I like it. in a good way.
What would you give this album out of 5, Tom?
Straight up 5.
For real?
Yeah.
I'm a 4. I'm a 4. Because I'm
for
saving it.
5.
Because I know there's a 5 in her.
Yeah.
But I want to save it. Now it's time for the big one. The classic album. The album that came out 50 years ago on Sunday. So at the moment it's kind of 49 years old and 363 How many days are there in a year, Tom?
365, of course. unless it's a leap year.
363 days old. It is Velvet Underground and Nico. Velvet Underground and Nico. There it is.
Right, hold on.
Okay, all right.
What I'm gonna
Tom's
do-
getting inside the album.
Right, let's just quickly run through some of the songs on this album.
Bear with us.
50 years ago, right?
49 years,
No, it's 50 years ago.
363 days ago.
Opening track, Sunday Morning.
What a good song.
Amazing song.
Mhm.
Second track, I'm Waiting for the Man. Brilliant. Amazing song.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll be
So,
good.
I'm
Okay.
Waiting for the Man,
Ah.
is basically just one song, just invented the Strokes and, you know, and all that stuff.
Well, this album invented so much. This album is blame sounds like the wrong word, but the Strokes, Joy Division, Sex Pistols, Blur, Elastica, Yeah Yeah Yeahs, blah 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 blah. So many bands come from this album. It invented new wave, it invented grunge, it invented art rock, it invented lots of things. Yeah,
pretty-
it's just so
pretty-
much to answer for.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Femme Fatale, track number 3. Amazing song.
Good one.
Sung by Nico, of course.
So Nico, who was a German fashion model, who has a very interesting tone of voice. Some may say she can't sing at all, and she
Who
kind
says that?
me, but it's nice.
No way.
Oh come on, you can't say
What a load
Nico's
of
your favourite vocalist.
What a load of rubbish.
Do a Nico impression.
She's a femme fatale.
Nah. Yeah, so it sort of sounds a bit like that.
Yeah.
But it adds to the whole vibe of it. This is kind of what New York was like in the late 60s, sort of scuzzy and weird and full of drugs and shagging, which is what this album is basically.
Track 4, Venus in Furs.
That's about shagging.
Just like,
Yeah.
you know, dark and dirgy and shiny
Shiny
boots of leather. I mean, just
kinky.
fantastic. Yeah. Run, 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 track number 5.
Yep.
You better run, 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 run. Yeah. Amazing. Anytime, what I love about this album is anytime you go to New York, you just find yourself in some place that either has been referenced on this album.
Lexington
or-
125.
Yeah, that,
First time I went to New York, I went there and I didn't pick up heroin, but I thought that maybe I should, just to get into the vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I didn't. If you're watching, I honestly didn't do any heroin in New York.
don't do it.
A little bit.
Track number 6, All Tomorrow's Parties.
Which is the name of a wonderful festival came out of that song. And also, it's just a great song. What else is on there?
Well, side 2, or in
Okay.
number 1, Heroin, right? I mean, so I guess another thing to say about this album is when it came out, it was a shocking album because there's the very frank, well, as Leonie's already said, just very frank sex and drugs chat.
Oh, hell yeah.
And this
It's all over the thing.
and this song, it's just called Heroin, right? It's about heroin, right? And
Literally just about heroin. How
seven-
are you allowed to do that?
it's-
If you literally couldn't do that now,
it's
could you?
7 minutes long.
Imagine if Ed Sheeran put a song on his new album
Yeah.
called Heroin that was 7 minutes long and it was supposed to be about sex. It just wouldn't
Yeah,
happen.
it'd be quite something. Yeah. I mean, and that track's really great, and it's just like, just really, just
Vibey.
immersive and dark, and it just, it takes you on a journey.
It
quite
does
a journey.
indeed.
Then There She Goes Again.
Nice.
I mean, just a brilliant song. I'll Be Your Mirror.
Oh.
Was that Nico's finest moment on this
I'll be
album?
your mirror. That's what she sounds like.
Yeah, amazing.
Quite
Black
flat.
Angel's Death Song. How does that one go again?
That's not my favourite.
How does it go again? Oh, was that the one that's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Experimental.
Yeah, it's amazing. Experimental, yeah.
Yeah, well, they invented being experimental. No one was experimental for this. It was produced by, as it says on the cover, a guy called Andy Warhol, who
Yeah.
you've probably heard of. But apparently when it comes to production, he just paid for it. That's what that means. They sort of produce it themselves. But still pretty good to have a Andy Warhol artwork on the cover of your album.
Yeah.
That's not bad, is it?
No,
To-
it's good,
It's
isn't
a really good banana. And apparently, so the first pressing of the album, you could unpeel the banana. Demo. That's what unpeeling a banana is
And
like.
eat
you would,
it
whoa. Would you
for
peel
one
from
of
the
your
bottom?
one of your 5 a day.
Tom, would you peel
No,
a
of
banana
course.
from the bottom?
No, I wouldn't. That's insane. Why did I do that? Obviously, you do that, wouldn't you?
Mad.
Yeah. No one peels bananas from the bottom.
So this
Not even monkeys.
really hungry monkey just
Yeah.
can't wait to turn
So
the banana the right way
I've
around.
noticed some interesting things in the inside of this. So obviously, the members of the band have all got says their job. So Lou Reed, lead guitar, ostrich guitar, vocal. John Cale, electric viola, piano, bass guitar. Sterling Morrison, rhythm guitar, bass guitar. Maureen Tucker, percussion.
Mo Tucker, wonderful.
Nico, chanteuse.
Ooh la la. Yes, because you can't really call her a singer. That's why. So this
Yeah.
album, apparently, when it was released, totally flopped. No one cared. And it wasn't until the late 70s when it started to be critically kind of reassessed, and people were like, actually, that's a pretty good album. And you know what? It is a pretty good album. I can't believe for 10 years people just sort of ignored it, especially when it has a kind of work of art.
It's
on the
insanely
cover.
good. It's almost unfairly good.
Yeah.
There are some here's some quotes in here for some
Go on.
critics at the time.
Yeah. Can you do them in accents, though, please, Tom?
This is David Antim,
not
writing
a
for
good
Art
accent, is he?
News. Nico, astonishing. The macabre face so beautifully resembles a memento mori, the marvellous death-like voice coming from the lovely blonde head.
I'm going to start referring to more women as lovely blonde heads in my way.
Lovely
Laura
blonde
Marling,
head.
what a lovely blonde head.
You have a lovely head, Leonie. Lovely head.
Ginger.
Here's one. A three-ring psychosis. Oh, this is in Variety.
Ooh.
A three-ring psychosis that assaults the senses with the sights and sounds of the total environment syndrome. Discordant music. That's absolutely true. Throbbing cadences. Pulsating tempo. Yeah, all true. All quite exciting. And one more,
Well, yeah, come
because
on,
maybe you're finding this boring. Screeching rock and roll reminded viewers of nothing so much as Berlin in the decadent 30s. That's from Los Angeles magazine. All
Great.
true.
Can't believe they've not quoted NME in any of those.
I know,
bits.
yeah.
But overall, a phenomenal, phenomenal album. Just so good. If you haven't heard it in a while, put it on today because it's a delight
Put it on today.
But-
Celebrate its birthday.
on Sunday. But
On
you
Sunday.
can celebrate today because you might be doing something else on Sunday.
Do it for Lou, who of course,
Oh.
Lou Reed died 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
3 years
Three,
ago,
4
kind
years
of
ago?
October 2013.
Yeah, a very,
I'm correct.
a very confusing and complicated man, and by all accounts, possibly not the nicest man.
Yeah,
you
but have
could
you?
ever
He's
meet,
done a lot of sex and drugs. That's gonna,
but
you know,
undoubtedly,
mess with you.
yeah, a talented man.
Look at that banana. I give this a 5 out of 5. You can't really give it anything else.
No, it's ridiculous. 6 out of 5.
Shit, man. 7 out of 5.
So Lou Reed wrote all the songs except the Black Angels Death song, which is Lou Reed and John Cale, and European Sun. Oh yeah, we didn't even mention that. That's the last song, European Sun, which is all of them.
So Tom's going to carry on reading out all the liner notes, but I'm going to probably go because this could go on forever. Thank you very much for tuning in again. We will see you soon.
Not since
Oh,
the
God.
Titanic ran into that iceberg has there been such a collision as when Andy Warhol's exploding plastic inevitable burst upon the audiences of the Trip Tuesday. For once a happening really happened, and it took Warhol to come out from New York to show how it's done. The Velvet Underground is so far out that it makes the tremendous thumping beat of the great groovy group which opened the programme sound passé. The Los Angeles Times. Cheers.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye.